You're not going to move. Don't run away from me. What the? Come back. Come back, bro. Bro. Holla ballers! What's going on? It's Preacher. So recently we've been doing our tanking series, which I put on hold for a couple of days for the simple reason is I wasn't enjoying my Brewmaster, which I was surprised by. I had so much fun on the Brewmaster in the alpha and the beta, but this time around, I had some little niggles which I was really just not happy with whatsoever, and that led me to just kind of not wanting to play around with it and not wanting to do some of the cool stuff that I wanted to do with you guys on my Brewmaster, which was sad because I already had that level 110 and I hadn't really leveled any other alts because I've been so focused on my mage. Got to get that AP in, right? So I then was in the unenviable decision of, do I just force myself to do what I wanted to do with you guys in terms of tanking stuff on the Brewmaster, just get it done? I could certainly have done that. But I knew where I wanted to take that series, which is ultimately maybe into a raid or certainly some high-level Mythic Plus, is if I'm not enjoying it, going through the gearing process and stuff is going to be more of a chore than I would have liked. So I was then left with that decision. What do I do here? Do I simply... Oh, look at our DPS. This is going to be a slow run. slow run. Which is fine. Again, we're always looking for those clues at the beginning of the dungeon, aren't we? All those signals that let us know what we're going to be doing over the next few minutes. What am I going to play? And as you can, spoiler alert by the way, it's a blood DK. But the big question is, how the fuck did you end up on a blood DK, Preacher? How did that happen considering everything you said? What about Guardian Druids? They're super powerful right now. What about Paladins? They're awesome. What about Warriors? Everyone's playing a Warrior. Yeah, all these things are good questions. I think it's worth answering in this video how I ended up here. A big part of it, honestly, which is going to affect most of what we say here, is that, frankly, I have a real affinity for the Death Knight. Like, in general, I have such an affinity for it. It was the first ever extra class that came into the game for me. And ultimately, through raid experience, I saw the Death Knight overcome challenges that should never have been possible. And that was due to their really fantastic design. They're far more simplified than they were at the original launch during Wrath of the Lich King, which is the rune systems like all death runes and so on and so forth. And the management's a little bit simplified and all that kind of stuff. So they're not quite the same as when they first launched. But ultimately, they are a very, very unique style of play. I love the interaction between the rune system and the runic power system. I think it's really quite clever. It was something I quite enjoyed similarly with the Brewmaster, with managing the iron skin brew and you know, managing your cleansing and stuff like that. So between them, it was a pretty close call. What about the big powerful ones? I don't intend to do anything with this that's super, super powerful. Right? I don't intend to be mythic raiding on this. And I think this is something people get really bogged down on when they're making an alt. And I find it quite baffling when people are making alts that they ask questions like, will I be able to do world first progress on this? I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit, but those are the kind of things people consider. What is super powerful right now? Yeah? Should I roll a Guardian Druid Breach because they could solo tank Guam Mythic, for example? It's like, are you going to be doing that? That's the question I have to ask you, because if you are going to be doing that, you probably don't need to ask me that question. In reality, are you going to be doing maybe some LFRs, maybe some Mythic Pluses, or just random Heroics, or just goofing around, killing, you know, rare mobs, shit like that? Is that what you're actually going to be doing on that character? Or are you actually going to be facing significant challenge? If you're not facing or planning in any way, shape or form to face significant challenge in your near future, I'm talking in a reasonable time frame of not having to re-roll, then I think you're safe to pick whatever the hell you want. Can I grip these? I've never tried. I can grip these. I can also heart strike them and slow them down. Very cool. Let me help. I'm helping. I've never seen this do this in Heroic. It's kind of funny. I didn't even know it did this in Heroic, because I usually do it on my mage, and every time I'm in on my mage, obviously, it dies. Way before this. Soul Burst. I got two of them. I assume I could just AMS this, and this is one of the reasons I love the old Death Knight. So having said that, what about my warrior? As you may or may not know, I was a main prot warrior throughout all of, well, throughout a rather sizable chunk of Warlords of Draenor. But the prot warrior and its ignore pain and shield block mechanics in Legion, despite the fact that there is some cool stuff going on right now with some devastate resets on shield slam and all this kind of stuff that some more advanced prot warriors will know about, is quite interesting to me. The overall gameplay of the prot warrior turned me off, and now I'm committed to basically taking this guy to some Mythic Pluses, and I know I'm going to get a lot of DKs in chat going, just wait till you get Necrotic, Preacher. Now I'll teach you. Well, hopefully we'll actually run into that. Hopefully we'll run into that and we can do something with it. Watch out for my super speed increase, and now I'll walk slowly and gently towards the end of time. Not saying the Blood DK doesn't have its drawbacks. It was a long consideration. In fact, the other choice I had here was the Guardian Druid. The Guardian Druid. But I also have to consider something else. What am I doing with this? I'm going to use this to hopefully teach you guys some stuff about tanking, right? Is there much point in me doing that on a class that currently is notoriously very, 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 very powerful? Some of you will probably have different answers to that. As to whether or not that... what is the usefulness of that decision? Is to be able to do that. And I have to say, part of my decision leaned into something that I think the community perception was that it was underpowered. Not overpowered. I think if we went with something like a Guardian Druid, people would just be like... would not get the kind of information from it that I want you guys to get from it, which is that you can do this stuff. With that, it's not really class dependent. Kind of hard to do that if you're playing something that is considered vastly overpowered by a huge quantity of people. Are you coming or what? What are you doing? Crispy grips. That's why we're a DK. Oh, yeah. Crispy grips all day. Ball breaker slice. Move out of the way. Yeah, stacks back up. Nice and dandy. Just make sure we get a decent set of stats going here. Yeah. Heal myself up. I think I do have to be careful with conveying that message to people who I'm trying to teach how to tank while playing something that currently some consider overpowered, some probably would say differently. But either way, that discussion's going to come up. And do I want that discussion to come up? Not really. I mean, it's not part of what I want to show you guys. And therefore, I think playing something considered relatively underpowered by the community is actually more beneficial. If I could do it on something considered underpowered and you guys want to choose something that's naturally more powerful, then we're probably going to be in for a good time. Come on, healer, you got this. I'll look after myself, because I'm a DK. No one's dying on my watch. I was wise to this pull. I knew what would happen. Get those chain heals going. Let's have a healing rain. Let's be cheeky and have a healing rain. Eh? What do you say? What do you say? Me and you. No? Not doing it? Okay. Not gonna do it. Not even for me? Come on, you can do it. No? Okay, fine. Fine and dandy. You're alright in my book. You're alright in my book. So, that kind of counted out the Guardian Druid, despite the fact that I had a lot of fun with the Guardian Druid. You might recall I actually said the Guardian Druid was in the best position I've ever seen it in Legion. And I think most people would agree with that, given the current situation they're in, which is doing some pretty incredible things. The next thing was, I wanted something that I could pretty much look after myself for the most part on, especially during the gearing process. The gearing process like this, and I purposely done this, is this guy is Lobby 835, right? He's 835. And this is intentional because we're going to have a stream where I go through the gearing process without cheesing it. Recently, a lot of people are using not my position, but the resources I have access to as excuses to not do better. And a big part of what I do is to show, no, it's not an excuse, right? You can't just keep putting that on other people. A lot of people like to do that, right? They like to find a reason to say you're wrong, because that helps them with their mistakes. And recently that's happened a lot with people saying, well, everything's easy to you. You have a guild, you have access to these people, you play with good people, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. You don't know what it's like, despite the fact that I pug every single goddamn day in this game. But we don't know what it's like, and it's an excuse that we want to shut them up with, right? Most of us here know the stuff that we can do. So we want to be able to say, you know what, fuck you, man. Don't blame us. Here's the proof. It's down to you to try and sort this situation out. So what we're going to do is gear up without using the resources I have access to. We're going to use the pre-made group finder. We're going to do those kind of things. So for many ways, I did want a tank that I could reasonably look after myself on, which would have been like a paladin or a demon hunter. But I'm not a big fan of the demon hunter gameplay. Pain, I still laugh when I think of Pain. It still sounds so childishly emo to me. I know people would really would like to see some Demon Hunter tanking, but yeah, I can't get over it. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm allowed to have those thoughts. I'm allowed to have those thoughts that, you know what? No, I'm not into it. I'm not into it whatsoever. And I'll do what I'm doing. I'll do whatever I want to do. You do what you want to do. Don't stun me, bro. That's all I want to... That's all I'm saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. So when it came to that, we obviously wanted some self-healing involved because we don't know what kind of healers we're going to get. We don't know what we're going to deal with. So a decent sensor of self-healing was a big part of it, which then levied itself towards the DK. I mentioned grips earlier. Given the fact that Demon Hunters aren't particularly used right now, like ever, I don't think I've seen a Demon Hunter. I've seen a Brewmaster in action more times than I've seen a Demon Hunter in Legion, particularly in the raid world. And I've seen a Blood DK used more as well. Fucking, I miss Grip so much, dude. So fucking much. Grip is just the absolute best in the world. It's so fucking cool. And I miss it. I miss it so goddamn much. And having said that, that's what I'm going to do about it, is grip things myself. Because Grip is the best spell in the goddamn game. We're actually going to get ads in this fight. It's going to be cool. I haven't seen a lot of the fight mechanics in a long time here. You guys have probably been in the same scenario where you end up teamed up with somebody who's like really overgeared and just after their daily AP or whatever. Happens pretty regularly now. We've got a group here of genuine gearing up in heroic chaps. And I'm going to call them chaps. Hello, my man. Can you stand here? That would be delicious. And can you come over here? Crispy Grip! Oh! Suck my fucking blood-baked cock. Love it. Position the ads nicely. I want to kind of be here, but I don't want to stun anybody. What's the best position for this? I haven't had to do this yet. So I want to move you to, like, here, but then I want to face you, like, this way towards the wall. Like that. Yeah, that's the shit. That's what it's all about. Interrupt that. Avoid this. Yeah, we're getting the cleave. That's the cleave right there. That's the fucking crispy goodness right there. You fucking love it, don't you? You fucking love it. Grip is just the dream. One of the best abilities in game that has been muted. I know Blizzard's giving it some, giving it back some love later. We might actually get genuine upgrades in here. That'd be pretty hype. Give me the click. Give me the click. Let me click. Clicky, 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 clicky. No. AP. Your AP, I forgot how bad AP was in early levels. Ugh. You get absolutely none. So that was something I wanted to do, is do some crispy grips, because I think I just don't see it often enough. And gripping as a DK, God, it's your most valuable technique. So valuable. And I can't tell you how much I miss it. We're probably going to die here? Maybe. We're going to try and set up a delicious Bone Storm, but we'll see. So we're going to use our Maw of Consumption there. Consumption style. Keep these guys here. Gonna pop a Vampiric Blood now. This is going to be the silliest pull I do in here, but hopefully we'll be fine. Keep them all positioned like this. I'm just going to focus a little bit here, because now I actually have to play. Yeah, dodge that one. Aha, we have some extra mobs. Crispy Grip. Grip them all together. Get that AMS up. No, we're going to be fine, I think. Let's put down the Death and Decay, hopefully fear a couple of them. Look at this guy getting chased around. Good times, man. Good times. That wasn't too bad at all. Come on, kill him. Don't just run. I do like low DPS when I'm learning to tank. What I will say is those are generally the reasons I ended on the Blood DK. It fit all the criteria. I didn't want something super powerful. I could have easily rolled something super powerful and not really got the message across that I want to get across. Especially while trying to inspire confidence into the guys who genuinely want to get into tanking but have fears. Particularly about entering Mythic Plus, which is what we're going to be doing soon. Everyone's, I mean, you're probably hearing all the time, it's like, fucking everything before 9 is so easy. Or, as it has gotten in the last few weeks, at least around the people I play with, everything below 15 is so fucking boring. Yeah. While you're still maybe trying to get 1s and 2s done, you know? So we're going to jump into there. You're probably wondering questions like, what item level do I need to do this, this, and this, and this? Which are all good questions for, you know, early plays. Like, what's the exact criteria so I should be safe? So we're hopefully going to show off exactly what most of us did at the beginning of the expansion, which was, we didn't know. We didn't know the answer to that question. We just had to get in there and see what happened. And hopefully show you that it's absolutely fine and dandy to get in there whenever you appropriately feel you're ready. Rather than waiting for some sort of mystical number that could be any sort of hodgepodge together gear you might have acquired at the time to let you know that it's actually the right time. We'll do some LFR, show you just how bad, these are my intentions over the next few days, to show you how bad LFR is for actually learning to tank and why it's a giant waste of time. Hopefully we get, no issue that we'll get into there and have a clear demonstration of why you should not be trying to learn to tank in LFR, which was just nightmarish. But situations like this are where you actually want to be. You want to be doing close quarters. You want to be with a group of people where their decisions make sense, where they count, and where you have a reasonable chance of dying. Not that we have a chance of dying really at this level in heroics. And also doing things like this. This is where I hate my Brewmaster, by the way. For shit like this, if I didn't take Rushing Jade Wind, I honestly found like dealing with this, you know, anything that's like a constant onslaught of mobs, just fucking infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Really hated it. Right, is this going to be too much? Probably. Probably. So I'm going to get my I'm safe from everything spell ready in the name of Bone Storm. And we'll go Bone Storm now. Bone Storm will save us, I'm sure of it. Wait for the rest of the party to catch up. I can see they're out of range here. You can see I've got my unit frames set up here so I can see that they're not here yet. I assume they're coming soon. Guys? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, we're here. Good, good, good. Wait for one more Blood Boil. Heal that up. Get some stacks up as we go. Now, I'm actually going to place this here because of these bats. And anything that runs through. Because I want to drag these up here. Here they come. Come on, guys. There we go. Excellent. Now, this might be an interesting fight. So we'll watch this. We're nearly at the end of the dungeon anyway. I just wanted to explain my thought process there and why I dodged those. You know, the Paladin is a playstyle I particularly enjoy. I find it a little too simplistic. What I do like about the Blood DK, which also met my criteria, which I haven't spoke about yet, actually, is that it has choices to be made that matter. Big problem that I have with warriors and stuff is they don't really have that. Which is great for, like, Paladins and Warriors are really cool if you're just getting into tanking. Really, really cool. Or if you want a relatively easy life as a tank. Either way, it's not a case of, if you're a really serious good tank, you shouldn't like the prop Paladin. That's, in fact, far from the case. What I particularly enjoy about my tanking... Can I take two of these? I don't know. I might rip here. Alright, I've got two of those. Should protect the group. Cool. Oh, where are you going? Fell Vomit. Okay, we're going to have to adjust our position slightly here. Fine with that. Let's use our Vampiric Blood right now. So we can keep ourselves nice and healthy. This is cool. So we're going to save our consumption for when we're at low health. I'm not going to take any more. Guys can start taking your own now. I think the Pally's going to take it anyway. No? Let's go over here. A bit more space over here, yeah? Cool. Because the Death Knight has choices like popping Blood Shield, it has AMS, which only works on magic, you know, Bone Shield charges. It has lots of different things to be managing, but it's not complicated by any means, right? I'm not saying this is the hardest thing in the world. Ooh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at the item levels for days. And avoidance? You fucking joking me? God, I am the best player in this game. Confirmed. Give me that. Yeah. Because of those things, that makes me more interested in actually playing it, because I'm making choices based on what I want to do, rather than sort of working through the situation and trying to, and just trying to pressing what's not on cooldown. I don't tend to find, even though the Blood DK does have this silly Blood Boil mechanic, which is fine actually, it does fill out the rotation nicely. Although I pointed out as when it was brought into the game back in the alpha and the beta that it was questionable. Let's put it that way. Questionable to say the least. Are you guys coming? There we go. Questionable to say the least. About putting in a random ability that just like has nothing but just damage, but it does have diseases. I still prefer Pestilence. I actually miss the Pestilence animation quite a lot. You gotta throw that at me, aren't you? Oh, no, you threw it there. Cool. Alright, we'll tuck into this corner nicely. Try to spread these debuffs around the corner. Blade Barrage. Can I avoid that? I can avoid that. Oh, I did not know that. Always checking. This is part of tanking, is you science stuff all the time. Most of the things you do are for science. I just want to know if this works for science. Ah, he actually puts down the knockdown thing first. Cool. There's Blade Barrage, so we can move out the way of that. Heal ourselves. Stand here. Keep an eye on our floor. See if he starts throwing things, deteriorating gas at our area. He is. Cool. So let's move over here. And we'll keep this sort of circling the room. Blade Barrage. Move to the side. Oh, we got our rhythm down. Man, I've seen tanks die to this guy so many fucking times. I bet you guys have too, right? You guys seen tanks get fucking ripped by this guy big time? Or you've all been stunned or some shit? Right, that's over there on that guy. Yeah, cool. So I can stay here. And then he's going to Blade Barrage. Nice. Get behind him. Kind of has a Grobulus feel to him. Those of you who ever did Nax Ramus at any point, in terms of not like nuking him down for transmog gear. Cool. Gas on us. Move around. Does it disappear? Yeah, it's disappeared over in those corners. Cool. Oh, is he blade dancing me? Awesome. Let's move over here. I'm going to bring him back over to this corner. Don't rip, fellas. Come on, you got this.
He deserves 100 more.
Excellente. Absolutely delicious. So, yeah, this is where we're at with the Blood DK. It meets all my criteria for what I want to achieve with this tank over the next few days. I'm going to keep it like this. I have done the class campaign, so we have our 3rd relic, but we're only at artifact power 15, which is not a lot. It's now hit the point where shit I do doesn't fucking matter, and we're waiting on knowledge. So we're in a good position. We're in a good position to start the learning process. Obviously, you guys can easily hit 850. I've been kind of avoiding getting gear from the World Quest stuff, because one, I haven't had fucking time, certainly to try and do World Quests on alt for all intents and purposes, despite work purposes. But also because I find people asking me questions, and maybe you guys can leave a comment on this if you made it this far into the video, is asking things like, I can't get above like 840 item level. Which I find, as much as I don't care about item level, it's a bad judge of everything, really. I find it really strange that people are saying that when you can get those item levels just from World Quests. Like, you don't even have to do dungeons for that stuff. So maybe I'm missing something, but I know already on my DK is I'm getting the, you know, the mythic quality World Quests. I'm getting epic quality World Quests. All stuff that'll take me up to that kind of item level, or very, very, very close to, without having to, like, buy anything, and certainly go farming in dungeons for it. Let's Rune Blade this, because we can take some extra damage in this part of the fight. Don't think we need to AMS that. Am I going to cleave that down? You guys not going to do it? Remember, always be checking whether or not you can help your DPS out. Always be checking. There's nothing worse than a tank who just tanks. I fucking hate that. You're so much more. So much more. Oh, I've never done this with a slow movement speed character. Will we be fine? I'm sure we will. Heroic mode goes really slow if I remember right. Yeah. It's fucking, no, you can actually wait. Oh my god. I'm not going to run too far because it's slow. The first world problems. The first world problems. There's the hypnotic cloud, so we want to make sure we stay away from there. Let's keep it like here. That should be fine for everybody, I think. Cloud of hypnosis. Where's that going? He was looking at me. Let's kill this. Alright, we're budging people into that corner, so let's just edge this way ever so slightly. Give them that little bit more room. Our bone shields back up. Stinging Swarm coming. We'll save our next Blood Boil for it. Where is it? Oh, you're over there? Okay, go on. We'll help you. You're not going to move. Oh, don't run away from me. What the? Come back! Come back, bro! Bro! You're in a hypnotic cloud. I got it. Good times. Good times indeed. Good times. So there you go, guys. That's what's going on with the tanking series. Is we're going to be streaming sort of Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. Probably Wednesday. I think we're doing Dead Rising 4 tomorrow, but maybe. Depending if the Windows Store's playing nicely. And then we'll be doing a lot of tanking all day, doing some mythics and stuff. So you might want to check that out as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.